Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and riveting and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero, like defender of the fatherland. We're off here to a 1v1 on Amilly Fields in the north. It is expensive runner, fighting for the Oberkommand West, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 16th Panzergrenadierdivision with Grand Offensive, Elite Armored, and Overwatch with double infantry and Sturmpionier bulletins. We got Grand Offensive with the Panzerfusilier, the smoke bombs, the Infantry Sturmgewehr, the Panzerkommandant, and the Tiger Tank. West and south, it is Land to Play, fighting for the Red Army, the Soviet Union, Communist Stalin, and Socialism. Taking on the role here of the 15th Guards, Mechanized Corps here with Guard Rifle, Urban Defense, and Armored Assault. We got Molotovs, Mines, and Infantry Bulletins. Double Conscripts versus Volksgrenadiers and Panzerfusilier. And as always, a big, hearty, warm thanks to my parent supporters, champions and heroes, one and all. You too can join the ranks by pledging on Patreon, or you can donate by PayPal. Links in the description. Also, comment, like, share, subscribe, press the bell button. Will also help me out a bunch. But anyways, we're off to the action here. In these engineers sitting out there proudly for the Red Army. Mercenary guns wield it tightly against any incoming Germans. Meanwhile, expensive runners also focusing hard on the east side here towards the fuel point there. So I feel like these engineers, despite their pride and their arms in their training, will fall a bit short against the sheer numbers and the firepower about to be unleashed against them. On the west, conscripting force there. Two squads here, third on the way there. And there goes shots fired. Volksgrenadier versus engineers there. And the Sturmpionier about to back up. We got more Panzerfusilier here for expensive runner. Routing the engineers here with ease. Barely any damage here. Didn't help the engineers had absolutely no cover to really hide behind either. More country arriving here, looking perhaps take a deeper path instead of harass there. We also got some early mines here by expensive runner. Perhaps concerned about a fast scout car from the Serb players, as some do like to go for those against the Oberkommand West. Second Panzerfusilier squad out here. There we go, fresh engaged here by the fuel point. Didn't finish the sandbags, but still two squads versus one. Is not a great engagement here for Land to Play. And there's Frontovix as expensive runner strikes back here. We can see he just immediately retreats. Tactically, the best decision here by far. He could have kept fighting, but they just risked losing a lot of manpower while inflicting next to no damage. West side, those where the hammer blow is going to fall here. Single Panzerfusilier squad versus two conscript squads is going to be a good win here for Learn to Play, unless, expensive runner gets very lucky or Learn to Play messes up here, since the Panzerfusilier, in terms of firepower, are initially slightly below, combat strength, a Volksgrenadier squad to start with. Though once you get them upgraded, they become much stronger than the Volksgrenadiers when they're upgraded. So, but as that shows a power curve, there's a bit, weaker initially that keeps, some players from going for them. But again, if you can sort of manage that initial weaker power curve, you can usually, again, get a really good return on investment. And the West, you can see they only got two conscripts, but lost, most of the Panzerfusilier squad there. Quite a blow there to expensive runner. Still, it's not like he's losing every other engagement. He's been able to, so far, think very wisely. Fight here against Learn to Play is going for 4 conscripts, which is interesting considering, most of his commanders here don't really leverage them well, so... Then again, he doesn't have a lot of calling infantry on some of them either, so who knows what he's playing. Brandhand Granadovka there, of course, signals to Learn to Play that expensive runner has gone for the truck here already. Sturmpionier routed, but good hit on the cutoff point there by expensive runner. We also got to push towards his cutoff point there. We got a Panzerfusilier squad there ready to block that off. Truck running about here. Battlegroup headquarters mechanized. Typically, you'll see Battlegroup headquarters with that many Panzerfusilier, but it could surprise us all with a mechanized, since expensive runner has in the past been a bit fond of that truck there, not commander. Contrast the Panzerfusilier up close here. Kar-9 TKs was the most elegant bolt action rifles, going for decent fuel points as well, laying down his own sandbags. Ground back points here and there as well. A lot of action, a lot of maneuvering, both players looking for gaps and openings in the other's front lines to expose and exploit. It's very nice to see there. We do get the battle headquarters for some medical supplies from the Sturmpionier. Engineers there just standing about. Sandbags done, almost got the eastern field point. But yeah, a lot of back and forth here so far. Troops sending out their folks to runner's base. Got the medics up there as well. Could retreat the engineers, honestly, to heal them up, because they're in such low health that drawing into engagement could just quickly risk losing them, so there's not much point in that. Oh, there's actually something written on the flamethrower. Never noticed that before actually in all my years of playing the game, but oh well. That's it. Fun fact about the Rocks 3 flamethrower. It was actually designed to look like a rifle, so it was hard to like see on the at least going forwards, you know, that they were actually a flamethrower wielder. In fact, the Rocks 2 even had like the flamethrower tank disguised as a backpack to further hide it. So, little fun fact there about the certain flamethrowers. Because flamethrower operators were typically really big targets for enemy troops, both before and after an engagement. Engineers here fought learn to play, constantly being harassed and engaged there by expensive runners forces. Still not retreating the engineers. No tech up here for learn to play and no commander either. I wonder what he's planning here. Versus expense runner. And there we go. There's actually a good chance of wipe here. That'd be great for expense runner, but no. Falls a bit short there. Really close though. Dangerously close if anything. And there go back to got the second new squad to build up stuff there. Allow him to keep the engineers to the front line, but again, I don't think they got enough health for this to be really viable long term anyways, but that's just my opinion. Expense runner quick to get control back of the fuel points here. Spawn cut on there, they're done again, then go for the tank Weaver tank command, maybe go for like a fast half track. That could be an option here for them. Meanwhile, we got the flak half track down the way for expense runner, the 251-17. Most self-propelled anti-aircraft guns would typically either mount on half tracks or trucks. They'll even have some like mounted on cars, as a little fun fact there. Flak panzers and anti-aircraft tanks in general, I think on most sides were notably rarer. Mines here from a learn to play, very good. Thumbs up to that. And he is getting that tech up there as well. Flak half tech almost enough expense runner and the German army. The 16th Panzergrenadier Division. Sandbags up here. Got the mines down. Brief moment of quiet here between the two sides. Do get the reconnaissance package away there for the Panzerfusiliger. Aufklärer, technically. And there we go. We'll probably go for the T-70 here versus expense runner. Flak half tag added, constantly quickly treating. I mean, with the sandbags, he could hold out for a bit longer, but the question, of course, is always like, what would he gain from holding out for that bit longer, and what would the risks be? And I think in this regard, Learn to Play pretty much concluded that the risks would be too high compared to like what he might potentially gain, which is like, you know, a few more seconds. You know, we got the field gun on the way there, since he's obviously not within range of the T-70 anytime soon. Infantry ready here, though obviously he doesn't have like any orbital dart until we need to utilize with it. He could like probably, instead of going for the flak half tech here, try to rush that out, but in those situations you're just better off going for the flak half tech. But theoretically it could have been like something he could have done. I think you were to do that, he'd probably gone for like something like special operations instead, and you know, use the Sturmoffizier. Bit of sneak around here again behind enemy lines. Thumbs up there to Learn to Play. Really good harassment. Mine goes off here, killing Joachim and Heinz. Contemplate about the Sturmpioniere. Field moving forwards. And there you go, constant quality by the flak half track. Curtain there for halfway done. Units going for the Panzerfusiliger. Eastern points being seized here by Learn to Play. Field gun holding back, going for the eastern field point. Close to that T-70, and still no commander from him. At this point, it definitely feels like we're heading into like armored assault tactics, or maybe Guard rifle. But even then, you typically go for the Guard riflemen. So maybe armored assault, because I suppose it'll also be urban defense. Black half track added again. Field gun is where we're there. Expense runner definitely being a bit unpredictable with this flak half track in a sense there. Making it harder for Learn to Play to try and set up a field gun in anticipation of it, which makes it easier to like just get some damage in before he has to retreat. Can go for the T-70 light tank now. He could also try for the Echelon 6M, but I doubt he's going to go for that. Scoring a minor victory then west. There we go, T-70 for Learn to Play in the Red Army. Securing the center with the conscripts. Flak having backed up with the Kidnap here, gonna rush in there, possibly. Oh, doesn't have the anti-tank grenades. That's a bit of a surprise. But then again, I imagine this one's prioritised getting out the T-70 as fast as possible under the current circumstances. It is kind of relatively late, like 10-minute T-70, honestly. It's right before the point you might just consider not going for the T-70. The Orbital Command West is probably still the best idea, since the Orbital Command West tech structure is typically a bit slower depending on the situation, even like, you know, with a bit of a lead there. Seems like a delay. T-70 can work out fairly well with the Orbital Command West, so... Still no commander. Almost got the Sturmpionier here, though I think he's going to fall short there, but it is very close. Counter right here by the flat calf track. Track about there, so he's going to set the Schwer Panzer quarter probably somewhere around here. T-70 engaging here the Panzerfleet with its 45mm gun. Good hit on the Panzerfleet. Counter goes the Volksgun is routed as well. Nothing further going on in the base of a Learn to Play. We've got Conscribing out there. Could lay down some mines here and there. And there you go. Schwerer Panzer Hauptquartier up here for Expense Runner in the German army. Flak half being fixed up by the Sturmpioniere. Got 467 to 447. There you go. Panzerfleet being barred by the T-70 light tank. Can he land a wipe here? Kill there, but nothing close to wipe there. At least not without extending himself, I guess. Swing out with the field gun, the conscripts. Flare mines, I think it would be great. And definitely feel like some mines have been a very good spot. Then, particularly with the sandbags, that's like a really good spot to mine since the opponent, of course, is likely to use the caliber. So that way, you know, sandbags like this can also effectively be like, you know, signal to the opponent, you know, mine this place. It's going to be really great to mine. He's dealing with the advancing Panzerfleet, getting some good damage in there. Segner came over there for Expense Runner, teasing while he's really taking to those German infantrymen there, causing some nasty casualty and damage. We got the concussor grenade against one conscript there. Panzerfleet there bled out, forced to retreat in the face of Learn to Play. There you go. Flak half takes to let it rushing in the country. He has research grenades now, but does he have anything to like follow it up with? No, but still he can keep it out of the fight here and force Expense Runner to be more careful. Still no commander here for Learn to Play. Does beg the question what he's planning. He's planning anything, but again it feels like an armored assault here, or possibly Guard Rifle. Again, he could have gone for like that sooner for some Guard Rifle infantry maybe. Fix up the T-70 there, 5 kills, red 21. Got a max out here for Learn to Play. Panzer there in heavy cover, will be easy to suppress unless it turns out fleet of these guys head a bit out too far. Maxim number 2 for Learn to Play. Ha! His opponent does have a lot of infantry still. But I'm not entirely sure you want more Maxims now. I feel like more infantry as Guardian could be a better idea. Like you might go for urban defense for the shock troopers. Or a mortar, honestly. Like people I tend to find underrate like light artillery, like mortars and light infantry guns, and the utility they can provide your forces. So I feel like a mortar could also like be a better choice here than another Maxim. But that's not to say like, you know, another Maxim is a bad idea. Just I'm not entirely sure to go for it right now. He's also floating a lot of munitions, and is definitely I think slacking off with like one of the Soviets' major advantage, which is they can easily afford to lay down a lot of mines. So don't feel like that's also something that Learn to Play may want to look into. He's got the victory point leader, Expense Runner. Is going to push for some armor soon enough, though. As you can see, there's still plenty of time to go there. Highlighting again, like, you know, this is the Orbital Commanderist. A Soviet T-70, like, you know, doesn't have to be that fast to still be really effective without, like, immediate threat of getting hard countered. In particular on the map like Amilly Fields, which is, you know, much more open, offers much more room for maneuver. It's a lot harder just, like, you know, lock down the T-70 with a single Raketenwerfer. So, good work there. You may want to take up soon, though, so you need to just start upgrading those conscripts to 7-man status, since that obviously would be another advantage here for them. But otherwise, I'd just like to see a commander there. Would like to see a commander. And so we got the German push forward here. Panzerfleet Sturmpionier attacking to the conscripts. Molotov over there. Panzerfleet called here, and there you go. Smoke bomb being deployed. I don't know if they actually used Stukas for that, though. I mean, it was obviously a ground support plane, initially basically it was just flying artillery. As a fun fact, the Stuka was initially quite controversial within the German Air Forces, with many people in the Luftwaffe being quite opposed to it. But in the end, it did win through, particularly once they actually got some combat action where they could see, hang on, this thing's good. Before that, was a lot of people trying to cancel the Stuka program. Flak playing up chain to the country there with his 2 cents of flak. 9 kills low approaching Metany 2. Pushing up the centre here. Flares off there. T-Sim being fixed up. Still some timing before we get out of the tank. In this regard, again, learn to place fuel harassment. It's just been so effective. It's just further, made it hard for Expansion to get out any recently timed Panzer IV. Again, courtesy of the T-Sim. And there you go. Learn to play. Oh, Expansion, I mean, it's going for the light artillery. The light infantry Geschütz. 2 thumbs up. Always a good piece there. Concentrating out there. And uses the flak half track. Flak half track, obviously very much favoured there. Sandbags there. Light gun almost done. He's also closing that pen 4, but now we got learn to play here with his tech up first. Can then begin upgrading to 7-man status, which is of course going to make things much more challenging for Expansion Runner. But it is worth noting we are almost 20 minutes into the game and he still hasn't chosen a commander, which definitely makes me think this is going to be armoured assault there. You know, T-3035s, but also the IS-2 heavy tank. The Josef Stalin 2. Comes as the Sturmpioner Panzerfußleiter. He can start getting his men there to 7-man status. Definitely should. It is a very good upgrade, to put it gently. Troops sitting out here. Betis on the flak half track. Really good there. Needs, of course, to get those fuel points back under control, no matter what he's planning. And, yep. Got those mobilized reserves there. Another set of smoke bombs here for Expansion Runner. Very good. He's actually combining it with the flares of his Panzer. It almost seems like it, but in this case, no. Line for gun there, blasting ones about the German assault positions. Very good. Great on the flat calf attack by the field gun. We got the Panzer rushing in, of course, crucially to worth noting. There is absolutely no screen. It's also worth noting it's his only field gun. If he loses this, that could be pretty big for Expansion Runner. As he can actually soon go for a Panzer IV. Of course, Expansion Runner might be kind of the mindset he wants to go for a Tiger tank. And particularly takes out his opponent's field gun, I guess. It could be really tempting to just go for the Tiger tank. But there you go. Worth noting he not only crucially merges it to get a full strength immediately, increasing his chance of getting out of there alive. Thumbs up there. It's actually a bit of a rare maneuver with some players, but the really good ones, we immediately just merge everything they can to get those anti-tank guns or other support weapons at full strength like that. Highlighting some of the, hidden but I think fairly strong utility of the merge ability. Panzer IV there on the way for Expansion Runner. And he finally goes for a command. It is Guards Rifle. Huh. Not saying it's a bad choice, but it feels like this late he could have picked something else. He could have picked it soon, for some earlier Guardsmen, for example, for some of those Maxims. I think a Guard Squad, for example, been a huge deal there for Learn to Play honestly. But, that's just that. Plus, some of this stuff could also be handy, maybe. But I guess we're going to be looking at the KV-1 heavy tank. We got the Panzer IV Modular for Expansion Runner. By 1944-45, though, the K1 would have been largely replaced by the KV-85, which was sort of like an interim solution between the KV and IS series, which would first see the IS-1/IS-85, according to some sources, which is basically just like a really heavily up-armoured T-3045, which would then lead to the IS-2. Molds would then punch within the Volksguns, pushing that here. Max supported by the flak half track. T-Sun up the Sturmpioner. skirmishing here. Quick grenade. Got the Panther against the conscripts. The Panzerkommandant. Flak up to the conscript, but came around to deal with the T-70. Good shot there, punched cleanly through the armour. KV-1 heavy tank on the way there for Learn to Play. Panther 4 down through, got the Panther Commandant there, but lucky there, the field gun didn't get some damage first, so we could have got the damaged engine, the Panther 4. Fairly close call there for expansion run, honestly. Reinforcing. Bit of quiet here and there. Both people trying to control, I mean, you could technically start churning out a lot of KV-1s there versus expansion runner. We'll have to see how he responds to that. Panthers, Yak Panthers, will he go for the Tiger tank? Those are the big questions. Mines down there, very good. But honestly, you could have laid down a lot more mines sooner here versus expansion runner. Particularly when you had so much more of the map control. I feel like not laying down a lot of mines when you had so much munitions floating was a bit of a strategic error. There you go, K1 heavy tank out. Mine spotted and dealt with. Good work there. And the K1 eastwards. Good shot there on the punches of the Ken landing a hit there. There you go. I believe an anti-tank rifle connector going off here. Yes, indeed. But didn't penetrate, actually. Now the Panthers are forced to retreat in the face of the K1 heavy tank. Now the Ken was shot, but this time bounces off the K1's armor. Comes there being blasted into oblivion of the Panther 4. Yevgeny, Yuri, and Dmitry all dead. And Sergei and Ivan there, Johnson as well there. The counter of the Panzer's Liga, Panther 4 on the flank here, 6 kills, close veterans 1. And a mine hitting the Panther 4, but right now Learn to Play's forces are not quite equipped to like easily hunt it down and destroy it, so that's kind of a bit of luck here for expansion running, particularly since like most of the force they could deal with anyway is also like on the other end of the map there, so a lot of fortune in that said. If you're the T-Sync the Kednev here, that's going to be pretty sour for expansion runner and pretty great for Learn to Play, since 6-man Kednev and so its service is going to be an absolute nightmare for expansion runner to deal with. Looks like Learn to Play can't quite follow up on that and deal with it. Very good there, very good. K1 moving forward, getting a shot there. He's busy in the center. K1 sitting out there, and we got a bit of air reconnaissance here. Nice shot there from the Kednev from the K1 there. Air support completely mulching the Kednev and almost taking out the Panzer squad as well. That is a pretty impressive strafing shot here, or strafing run there from Learn to Play. Thumbs up. And there you go, Copper 1 like Kevin Singer can control to take out the T-70. That'd be definitely a bit of a blow there to Learn to Play in the Red Army. And there you go, Panther 4 finishes it off. And it's starting to look like he might actually be planning a Tiger tank or at least a Panther versus his opponent. But still, we got Matt mostly in control of the Red Army. We got 291 versus 404 victory points. 5 killed close veterans you won. Troops reinforcing healing. Expands runner definitely in a bit of an awkward spot here. Though he still has a fairly decent force though, in particular in terms of like offensive firepower, so it's hardly GG at either, but he does need to be a bit mindful of things. I mean, we got another field in here for Learn to Play. Learn to play, I think, still could benefit a lot from some more mines. There you go, flare mines at least. Smoke can be employed by expansion runner. Is that more of a diversion of the way he's fusing and then pushing westwards? I think that's a diversionary smoke stream. That's pretty interesting if that is the case. It's pretty interesting. That's not something you have to see very often. Regular mine as well there, and there we go, field gun out. On the west side we got troops flanking up. Note by ways moving up here to cut off the east retreat path here for the conscripts. Panther caught here by the field gun, flank up with the troops there, artillery fire raining down. Yeah, looks like we are going to get a Tiger tank in soon enough from expansion running here versus Learn to Play, the Tiger. K1 on the move there. Black after the Veteran 3, half 8 to Veteran 4. There go, caught with the field gun, easily shooting through the thin armor there. Smoking the pod, I can caught with a K1 caught with a K, and I've got the K1 moving in, or Panther moving in as well there. Field gun moving up. I will say nice use of smoke here by Expense Runner against Learn to Play compared to he hasn't used any because he doesn't have any source of smoke. Not even a mortar. 215 versus 404. Counter-quoted by the flat calf tech, unleashing hell and terror upon those unfortunate Sod infantrymen. Got the air support inbound here again, trying to catch the Kedden Alpha and slices through the crew there somewhat aggressively, but not enough to clear it out. One has to wonder if that was worth 100 munitions there. Lining up here for a possible push up the southeast side here against Expanse Runner's right flank. You can soon also go for another K1, of course might be 10 for Tiger Tank, and no, we get a Panther here for Expanse Runner, the Panzerkampfwagen 5. Panzer delivers the conscripts, quickly falling back in the face of the advancing Sod infantry. Being hammered by the Panzer 4. Panzer was there down to 2 men. Valiantly holding their position, but in the end they had to fall back. West TK1 being repaired, ground western victory point. We got 215 to 384. Panther is right around the corner for expansion runner. There you go, Panther out. That does also mean that Expense Runner technically has like tank numerical superiority, which is definitely a bit dangerous then for Learn to Play. Panther dealing with the mechs from the east, very good there. K1 moving towards the centre, like Kevin could turn around to do that, of course got the Panther inbound as well here. While the Panther 4 is ripping apart here, Learn to Play's right flank quite aggressively. Yeah, let's go in the K1 Panther moving in there with its high velocity center-firing gun, able to penetrate most enemy tanks' armor in the war. K1 there down to half health. Field shoots, bounces off the Panther's armor. Second field gun that gets a shot through. Panther disengages, 199 versus 383. And the Panther will suffer significant engine damage. Still, he does seem to, in some regards, have the initiatives. A good push here could perhaps throw Expense Learn to Play over the edge here. Let's say he waits too long there. Learn to Play could hit him with more armor. That said, he is not pushing for that though. I'm not saying H5, more K1s and some T-34s and 6s. That definitely feels like a significant strategic error there by Learn to Play versus Expanse Runner. Adding the Panzer Commandant there to the Panther. Fire also joining in there. We've got, by the way, 8 kills on it so far, half 823, and he's using the barrage abilities consistently. Thumbs up there to Expense Runner. Panzer Commandant almost done. Getting access to an artillery coolant on that one as well, plus better accuracy. And line of sight, allowing it to make better use of its own range. Which is typically one of the issues with the Panther. While it technically has like a lot of range, you can't use it itself which does limit a bit its offensive potential there alongside its less than great rate of fire on the main gun. And his force push back in the east and the west. We see the pressure is adding up. We do get a Katyusha right now here for land to play. In some ways, a good choice, but at the same time, as a opponent with multiple tanks, well, he's only got one and he's being pressured. I'm not entirely sure if the Katyusha here is the right choice, especially since expensive runners like not bunching up support weapons or infantry a lot either, so there's a good chance here it doesn't really matter either. Needs to move in more troops support the Panther. Oh, yeah, he was losing it, but there you go. Got the KV-1. Panther's taking a few hits here. Remains operational. And quickly hides around the terrain here. Could actually flank behind here with the Panther 4. Katyusha out, but again, it's worth noting he's got no tanks now. He's down just the anti-tanks, meaning like, you know, the anti-tanks are cleared out by a good flank using infantry as a tank in this case. Then he's got absolutely no way of fighting any of expensive runners' tanks. While of course the Panther is not going to be the hugest threat. The Panther 4, as you can see, there is snipes and utterly wipes the field crew there with a single blistering shot there, leaving Learn to Play utterly defensively here in the face of the German Panzerwaffes. There you go. GG, game over. He was in many ways, I think, ahead, but failed, I feel like, to utilize his resources to its full extent, like, you know, no mines, too slow in choosing a commander, and definitely not picking up enough armor either as fast as possible. I feel like in this regard, Learn to Play made several mistakes here that definitely cancel out perhaps expensive runners slightly weaker start than some otherwise good plays from Learn to Play. So some, I think, elements there to keep in mind, but hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell your friends and family, but don't tell me. So, of course, do consider donating or pledge on Patreon. This is Imperial Links in Cheers. Thank you for watching. Till tomorrow again for a nice episode. Bye.